What if the Transformers were in the Star Wars galaxy? Before we begin, make sure to check out the voice actors, Nick Cortez and the Shapeshifter. Their links will be in the description. Also check out Pente Patrol, who's also uploaded a version of this story today. The cold void of space trembles as a bright, violent surge of energy crackled through space. From the swirling vortex of the space bridge, Megatron and the Decepticons emerged into an unfamiliar star system. The mechanical warlord gazed out from the bridge of his flagship, Nemesis, as it broke through the swirling anomaly, revealing a distant planet covered in ice, Ilum.
This is it.
Megatron commanded his forces, his gaze filled with ambition as he stared at the frozen planet.
The space bridge has brought us here to this galaxy, and now Ilum shall be the first step to our conquest.
Megatron had come to this galaxy with one purpose. He sought out an ancient relic of unimaginable power, the AllSpark, but not the original AllSpark that had been lost in the battle with the humans of Earth, but a second, more potent and dangerous version hidden in this galaxy. The AllSpark is an ancient artifact of the Transformers, one of their savored treasures that has the power to create new Transformer life and restore their home planet, Cybertron, something Megatron desired deeply. His eyes narrowed as he looked down at the map the Decepticons had uncovered in an ancient forgotten world that would lead them to the AllSpark. The Ricardan Infinite Empire, the ancient rulers of the Star Wars galaxy, had been known for their mastery over technology and the Force. Their dark empire had spanned the stars tens of thousands of years ago, fueled by their unparalleled ability to channel the Force, to power incredible devices and reshape entire worlds. The Ricardans' prowess in technology and Force had intrigued the mysterious creator of the Transformers. Long before Cybertron, the original homeworld of the Transformers history was fully written. An alliance had been forged between the Ricardans and the mysterious creator of the Transformers. It was from this alliance that the second AllSpark was born. Unlike the original AllSpark, which was merely an energy source capable of creating life, this relic was a fusion of Ricardan Force knowledge and Cybertronian engineering. This new AllSpark not only had the power to grant life, but to reshape entire planets into whatever its wielder desired. The ancient Ricarda had hidden it long ago, fearful that even they could not control the limitless power it held. But the Ricardans had left a map to his AllSpark, which must be carefully followed, but Megatron had found it, and began his conquest to find it. His metal fingers curled into a fist as he thought of the possibilities. With this second AllSpark, he could raise an army so vast and so powerful that no force in the universe, the Autobots, Jedi nor Sith, could hope to stop him.
Soundwave, prepare the ground team. We shall descend to Ilum and begin the search. The seed will be the key to awakening the power hidden within the planet. The map has brought us here for a reason. Acknowledged, Lord Megatron. Coordinates locked. Ground forces ready for deployment.
Before their arrival, Megatron had gotten his hands on the seed, a device that had the power to transform any planet, and he planned to use this to create the Decepticon base. Megatron led the way on Ilum's surface as they approached the entrance to a vast network of caves hidden within the icy mountains. The map had revealed these caves housed one of the most powerful and rarest materials in the universe, kyber crystals, ancient conduits of the Force. They entered the cave, which was illuminated by the pulsating glow of the crystals. The raw power emanating from them was palpable.
Fascinating. These kyber crystals, they're alive with energy.
Megatron stepped forward, his eyes narrowing as he approached a particularly large crystal embedded into the wall. Without hesitation, he reached out, his massive hand gripping the crystal, and wrenched it from the wall. As soon as he made contact, a powerful surge of energy raced through his body. He could feel it, an immense foreign power that was unlike anything he had experienced.
This power is beyond Cybertronian technology.
Without delay, he embedded the crystal into his own armor, and instantly the energy intensified. Megatron felt its power pulsate through him.
This is the key. With this power, we shall remake the universe.
Starscream watched from the distance, his optics narrowing with a mixture of jealousy and intrigue. Megatron turned to the Decepticons.
Mine what we can. We will use these crystals to fuel the seed.
They did just this, and mined what they could. Megatron ordered the seed to be brought forward, and placed it in the heart of the ice cavern. Megatron combined the seed with the kyber crystal, embedding it into its deep structure, and with this, the seed began to react, its core vibrating violently as it absorbed the power of the crystal.
Now, we shall turn Ilum into the first step towards Cybertron's rebirth.
The seed detonated, and the snow and ice of Ilum began to melt away, revealing layers of hidden metal deep within the planet's crust. The very fabric of the planet started to shift. The snow and ice evaporated, replaced by the gleaming surface of Cybertronian metal. The planet reshaped into a new Cybertron. But Megatron's plan went further. His implementation of the kyber crystal into the seed had converted Ilum into a massive cosmic battle station. Towering spires of Cybertronian architecture erupted from the surface, powered by the kyber crystal that had once been hidden beneath the ice. The planet itself became a weapon, combined with the Nemesis starship. Shockwave approached Megatron.
We have arrived 1 year into this galaxy's conflict. This so-called clone war has divided the galaxy. They will be no match for us while we find the AllSpark.
Megatron sneered with excitement.
Then, let us make our presence known.
He activated the control systems of their planetary battleship. Megatron turned his gaze to the nearest inhabited system, a small Republic outpost world, and home to a fledgling defense fleet. With a single command, the cosmic battle station fired into action, unleashing everything they had as they fired upon the planet, and the Decepticons themselves attacked. They struck the surface, obliterating entire cities with ease. With the constant onslaught, the planet's crust cracked. Fissures of molten rock erupted as the planet's core destabilized. Within moments, the entire world shattered, reduced to rubble and ash.
The universe will know our power. No one will stand against us.
But far away, deep within Coruscant, the Jedi Council felt a disturbance in the Force. They gathered in the council chambers.
A great darkness, I feel. More than war, more than Sith, it is.
Kenobi added.
It's not just a disturbance in the Force. Something unnatural has entered our galaxy.
Word of the destruction soon reached the Senate as well. Palpatine, ever watchful, was intrigued by the sheer scale of power unleashed on the Republic world. This may affect his plans. However, whoever these new arrivals were could become valuable pawns in his ultimate plan for galactic conquest. The Senate and Jedi scrambled to respond to the new threat, whom they eventually find out were the Decepticons led by Megatron himself. They delve deep into the Jedi archives, looking for any trace of the word Decepticons. Obi-Wan finds what he's looking for in an ancient Ricardan codex, but his expression darkened.
Here, mentions of an ancient war, tens of thousands of years ago. A race of beings, mechanical, powerful. Their war machines ravaged planets, but they were not like the droids we have encountered. Much darkness, I feel, but also light. Your purpose, clear it is.
Decepticons, they were called. From another galaxy they came. Their leader, the one named Megatron, sought power, not through the Force, but through destruction. They once allied with the Ricardan Empire, before even the Sith rose to power.
Could that be why they're back? Did they leave something behind that the Ricardans created?
They kept looking in their archives, but found no more answers to the questions they sought. That night, Palpatine called Dooku and told his apprentice his plan.
Meet with the Decepticons. From an alliance, they must believe we are their allies, and only when the time is right, we will take their power for ourselves.
Yes, my lord.
The stage was set, and Dooku met with Megatron, the leader of the Decepticons, where they discussed their proposed alliance. The Separatists would facilitate and help in their search for the AllSpark, whilst the Decepticons aided in the Separatist war effort. The deal was made, and they began their conquest. But just as the Republic's fate seemed sealed, a new ripple in the Force was felt. Outside Coruscant, space itself trembled as the very fabric of space and time creaked open. Through a swirling portal, a massive fleet of mechanical ships emerged. Leading the charge was a figure of towering stature, Optimus Prime. The Ark, Optimus's flagship, descended into the heart of Coruscant. Moments later, they descended towards the planet's surface, where Optimus Prime was invited into the Senate chambers, where the senators and Jedi Council watched. Optimus was flanked by his trusted Autobots, Bumblebee, Ratchet, and Ironhide. Optimus bowed his head respectfully.
I am Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. We come seeking peace and to stop a great enemy that threatens this galaxy.
Palpatine stands.
The Decepticons. You're here because of them.
Prime nodded.
Yes, they have come for something of immense power, an AllSpark, created by the Rakatan Empire tens of thousands of years ago. If they obtain it, Megatron will have the power to reshape planets and raise an army so vast that no force in the universe could stop him.
Bumblebee, standing next to Optimus, speaks.
We've seen what Megatron can do with a fraction of that power. If he gets his hands on the AllSpark, we're all in trouble.
Yoda closed his eyes as he felt the force around Optimus.
Much darkness I feel, but also light. Your purpose, clear it is.
The Autobots will align ourselves with your Republic to battle against the Decepticons. We have acquired a map to the treasure, but to reach it, we will need your help.
An alliance is made between the Autobots and the Republic. Later that day, Optimus and Bumblebee meet with the Jedi Council, as Optimus tells them he has a favor to ask, that he wishes for he and his top soldiers to be granted Kyber crystals, as the map says they will give them the power to be able to find the AllSpark. The Jedi were reluctant initially, but they needed the Autobots and decided to provide them with the crystals. Optimus took his and carefully integrated it into his own armor, hoping to amplify his strength for the battles ahead. But something unexpected happened. The moment the crystal fused with his body, Optimus felt an overwhelming surge of energy. The force flowed through him like a tidal wave of power that threatened to overwhelm his senses. His optics flickered, and he staggered, catching himself against the wall of the chamber. In the darkness of his thoughts, a figure appeared. It was a Prime, one of his ancient ancestors, the original leader of their kind. The vision showed the Prime standing alongside beings in robes, wielding lightsabers. The original Prime had been created through a fusion of Cybertronian technology and Kyber crystals thousands of years ago. Their strength, their leadership had been born from this galaxy, and the first Prime was force sensitive. This was the reason behind the Prime's superior power to other Transformers. The strength was transferred down their lineage, but their connection to the force severed, and could only be activated when combined with the Kyber crystal. The ancient Prime spoke to Optimus.
Your legacy is tied to the Force. You, Optimus Prime, are the key. Only through you can the balance be restored.
The vision faded and Optimus stood tall, his mind clearer than it had been, and he understood that he was force sensitive. His strength, awareness, and power were all amplified, and he could feel the galaxy around him in a way he had never experienced before. He turned to the Jedi Council around him, who were stunned that they could sense the Force radiating from him.
True it is. The Force flows through everything around us, even your kind, it seems.
Optimus gives his most trusted soldiers Kyber crystals, and their power and strength increase. Bumblebee grabs a hold of a green Kyber and imbues it into his armor, feeling the increase in power.
Whoa! This is unlike anything I've felt before. It's like I'm more than myself.
Together the next day, the Council, Palpatine, Republic Security Council, and Optimus and his lead Autobots meet to discuss the war plan ahead. Palpatine sat at the forefront.
We are grateful for your help, Optimus Prime. Your alliance with the Republic has given us hope in these dark times.
But as Palpatine spoke, Optimus Prime felt an unsettling presence in the room, an unnatural darkness that pulsated from the Chancellor. His newfound heightened connection to the Force stirred within him. Something was wrong, very wrong. Optimus's optics dimmed slightly as he focused inward, letting the Force guide his senses. As he studied Palpatine more closely, he sensed a veil, something obscuring the true nature of the man before him. Beneath Palpatine's harmless exterior, Optimus could feel a hidden personality, the very essence of the dark side lurking within. His Force sensitivity allowed him to pierce through the layers of deception that Palpatine had crafted over the years. He encountered a barrier, a concealment of immense power, and it was clear to him now. This man, this Chancellor, was not who he appeared to be. Optimus spoke.
Something is not right here. Chancellor Palpatine, your intentions are not what they seem.
A ripple of confusion passed through the room. Palpatine raised an eyebrow.
I do not understand, Optimus.
I can sense the darkness within you. Your concealment of your true nature is behind a mask of lies. The Force reveals your deception.
Palpatine begins to panic as the Council exchange worried glances. Yoda, who had been silently observing, closed his eyes and reached out with the Force, focusing on Palpatine. The rest of the Council follow suit, their collective minds probing the Chancellor's presence, searching for what Optimus had uncovered. Palpatine's demeanor remained calm, but beneath his composed exterior, a storm was brewing. He could feel their focus converging on him, their combined power pressing against the walls of darkness he had spent years building around himself. Suddenly, cracks began to form in his concealment.
There's something hidden here. Optimus is right.
The room grew tense as the Jedi pressed forward. A flash of red lightning cracked around Palpatine's figure, the dark side of the Force briefly revealing itself like a serpent coiling beneath his skin. Kenobi's eyes widened.
He's a Sith Lord!
The realization hit the Council like a shockwave as they, with Optimus's assistance, tore through the Chancellor's disguise. His eyes flickered with a golden fire as his true nature was revealed. As Darth Sidious emerged, he unleashed a blast of Force lightning aimed at the Jedi, whose lightsabers ignited in a flash of light. But when the storm dissipated, Palpatine was gone. He had fled, as he knew he didn't stand a chance. The Republic leaders in the room stood in shock, as the Republic Security Council thanked Optimus and the Jedi for this realization, as they took emergency control of the Republic and pushed for a new election very shortly. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, Palpatine met with Dooku and Megatron. Although upset with his exposure, his ambition had not wavered.
The Jedi have exposed me, but they will not stop what is to come. We will use the Decepticons to bring the Republic to its knees.
Megatron, standing tall beside Dooku, spoke.
We shall see, Sith. But know this, I will not serve under your rule. Our alliance is one of convenience.
Of course.
Palpatine said, as he whispered under his breath.
For now.
Back on Coruscant, the Republic and Autobots led the war effort. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee had been assigned to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker's forces, tasked with following the Ricardon map's clues to find the second AllSpark before the Decepticons could harness its power.
You're a natural with the Force, Optimus.
Anakin tells Optimus after a short training session.
The way you sense things, it's like you were born for it.
Optimus looked at his new friend, the vision of his ancestor still vivid in his mind.
Perhaps I once was.
They set their next destination for Dagobah, the location set by the map. Their fleet arrive above the planet. They land next to the coordinates provided and came upon their destination, an ancient Ricardon temple. The architecture still alluded to menacing power after all these years, but it was clear they were not the first to arrive, and the Decepticons had been there before them. The group approached and entered the temple. At the heart of the center chamber stood a large stone tablet engraved with a cryptic message in Ricardon language.
It's a riddle. R2, translate it for us.
Optimus approached, and he read the riddle aloud.
Where the stars align, a secret kept, amid the winds, where shadows crept. In ancient spires, the key shall show, where past and future flow.
There was a moment of silence as they each tried to understand the meaning.
Where the stars align. That must mean a planet tied to the stars, or perhaps something connected to a celestial phenomena.
Obi-Wan's eyes lit up.
Lotahol. The planet has a Jedi temple hidden there, and its history is tied to the Force and ancient relics. The winds must refer to the planet's windswept plains, and spires to the temple's spires.
Optimus nodded.
Let's roll out.
With the riddle solved, they entered Lothal airspace as they descended upon yet another Rakadan temple and found the same ancient writing of a riddle towards their next destination. Prime read it aloud.
The Tomb of Shadows, where ancient kings sleep. In the land of red sands, their secrets you'll reap.
Anakin and Obi-Wan exchanged a glance.
Korriban.
The ancient homeworld of the Sith, but as they turned to leave, the ground rumbled beneath them. The Decepticons arrived. Bumblebee turned.
Looks like we've got company. Everyone, watch your backs!
Starscream's voice echoed through the temple as several Decepticons descended from the sky.
Leaving so soon, Autobots?
The planet erupted into a chaos of battle as the Republic and Autobots clashed with the Separatists and Decepticons. Prime drew his blade, the Kyber crystal embedded into his armor, as he faced off against many Decepticons, using the Force to his advantage. But the Decepticons kept pouring in, and in the distance, they saw Megatron emerge and went into full retreat as they knew they had to get to Korriban before them. They retreated and set their coordinates for the Sith homeworld immediately. They arrived at the Valley of Sith Lords, but as they did, the Decepticons came out of hyperspace before they could get to the Rakadan temple. The battle was glorious as the armies clashed in space, Autobots versus Decepticons, clones versus droid, spaceships against spaceships. But the Decepticons' presence advanced, and in the midst of battle, Megatron swooped down from above, breaking into the temple, and rose with the stone tablet in his grasp.
Fools! You may have discovered the path, but the AllSpark will be mine!
Megatron retreated with the stone, as the Autobots and Jedi fought back. Optimus Prime managed to land a significant strike onto Starscream, powered by his Kyber crystal armor. They attempted to follow, but the Decepticons entered hyperspace, and all hope seemed lost. The group convened, morale low, as they thought they had no hope of following the Decepticons. But Optimus Prime told them otherwise.
The Force has given us a way to follow. I marked Starscream when I punched him. We no longer need the tablet. We'll follow close behind.
The mark left on Starscream allowed Optimus to sense his movements through the Force, and soon, the signal led them to a distant planet, rich in the Force, Tython.
The birthplace of the Jedi. If the Rakata hid the AllSpark anywhere, it would be there.
They called in backup from the entirety of the Jedi Council and Republic forces as they entered hyperspace to the space outside Tython to find the Decepticons and Separatists had done the same. Dooku and Palpatine had joined them, and they watched them descend to the planet's surface. This time, there was no avoiding conflict. The battle for the AllSpark had begun. The sky above Tython burned with the light of battle. Massive Republic and Separatist fleets clashed in the void, starfighters streaking between capital ships as explosions filled the atmosphere. The Autobots and Decepticons engaged in a brutal combat in space. Their titanic forms collided with intensity. Above the planet, the Ark flew in formation with the Republic's warships, whilst the Decepticons' Galactron, once the planet Ilum, fired its cannons towards the heart of the Republic fleet. Star Destroyers exchanged fire with Separatist dreadnoughts in a chaotic clash. On the battlefield below, Autobot warriors like Bumblebee and Ironhide clashed with Starscream and Soundwave. Bumblebee weaved through enemy fire, blasters blazing, while Ironhide slammed into Decepticon ground troops with brute force.
Decepticons! Everywhere! Keep pushing! We can't let them get to the AllSpark!
Starscream rained from above, while Soundwave unleashed sonic attacks that rippled across the surface. Optimus Prime watched from the surface as the sky was set alight, but his focus remained on the mission ahead. The stone fortress that stood before them, which the Decepticon forces were concentrated around, was no doubt the site of the AllSpark. He saw Megatron and his Kyber-powered warriors preparing for the final confrontation. Dooku and Palpatine stood beside him, both ready for the climax of the war. The Republic and Jedi forces descended upon the fortress in full force, led by Optimus Prime, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan and the Jedi Council. Hundreds of clones charged forward, blasters raged, whilst the Jedi ignited their lightsabers. Optimus's voice rang out, commanding his forces.
Autobots, we cannot allow the Decepticons to escape with the AllSpark!
The battle erupted, as Obi-Wan deflected Dooku's strikes with his own lightsaber,
This ends today, Dooku.
and pushed the Sith Lord back with a powerful Force blast.
Perhaps, young Kenobi, but not in the way you hope.
Meanwhile, Optimus Prime faced off against Megatron, the two towering figures colliding with a force that shook the ground. Their blades clashed, sparks flying as both their armors pulsated with the energy of the kyber crystal burrowed deep within.
You cannot defeat me, Prime. With the AllSpark, I will create an army that will rule this galaxy and the next.
But Optimus, now fully attuned to the Force, rose from the rubble.
You underestimate the power of the Force, Megatron.
Optimus reached out, letting the Force guide him with a powerful surge. He knocked Megatron back, the kyber crystal embedded in his armor, flaring with light. He moved faster than before, his strikes guided by the Force, as he began to exceed Megatron's strength. Around them the battle raged on. Jedi Masters Mace Windu and Yoda fought side by side as their sabers cut through the ranks of kyber-empowered Decepticons. The Jedi Council's combined strength pushed the enemy back, but the Decepticons fought fiercely in response. But through the chaos, Anakin noticed one figure was absent, Palpatine. Unseen by others, the Sith Lord had slipped away, using the distraction of the battle to enter the temple at the heart of the fortress. Inside, ancient Rakardan symbols glowed faintly, and at the center, resting on a pedestal of stone, lay the AllSpark. Palpatine's eyes gleamed with dark ambition as he approached it.
At last, I will become unstoppable!
But before his fingers could touch the artifact, a voice rang out behind him.
Not today.
Anakin stepped forward, his lightsaber ignited. Palpatine turned to confront the boy.
You've come to die, Skywalker. This is my destiny, not yours.
Anakin's grip tightened.
Your reign of terror ends here.
He gripped his lightsaber, ready for the blast of Force lightning he expected would follow. But instead, Palpatine conjured something darker, a Force storm that consumed the chamber with darkness, lashing out at Anakin as Palpatine advanced forward with his lightsaber, putting Anakin on the back foot initially. Palpatine's advancements had dark motivation behind them, but Anakin met these head on, parrying his strikes, and began to notice an opening. The Force storm was powerful, but it began to drain Palpatine's energy, and the Sith Lord slowed, and Skywalker used his youth to his advantage. He kicked Palpatine back, and with the Force, deflected the next blow from the Force storm towards Palpatine, who was hit directly in the chest. Anakin advanced. Before the Sith Lord could gather his strength, Palpatine deflected a few of Anakin's strikes, but he was way too slow, as Anakin severed his hands from his wrists, spinned, and thrust his lightsaber through Palpatine's chest. The Sith Lord let out a final choking gasp before collapsing to the ground, lifeless. Anakin turned to the AllSpark, his heart pounding. He could feel its immense power radiating from the artifact, a dark and seductive energy that called out to him. As he approached, the AllSpark's voice echoed in his mind, tempting him with the promise of ultimate power.
You are destined for greatness, Skywalker. With me, you will bring peace to the galaxy. You will rule it as you please. You will never fail again.
For a moment, Anakin hesitated. A vision of Padme filled his mind. Her smile, her warmth, the life they could have together. The AllSpark promised him the power to protect her, to ensure nothing would ever harm her. But then another thought struck him. The AllSpark's voice. It sounded like the dark side.
No, I won't fall for your manipulation.
With a cry of defiance, Anakin raised his lightsaber high and brought it crashing down on the AllSpark, his blade piercing the artifact, shattering it with a vibrant explosion of light and energy. As the AllSpark's power dissipated, Anakin left the temple, carrying its remains in his grasp. Meanwhile, the climactic battle between Megatron and Optimus raged on. Their blades clashed, sending sparks in all directions. Megatron roared in fury, channeling the kyber crystal's energy into his next strike. His sword gleamed with a glow of dark crimson light as it slammed into Optimus's blade, pushing him back.
You could have ruled by my side, Optimus. Together, we could have crushed every enemy in our path. But you chose these fresh creatures. You chose to ally yourselves with the weak.
Optimus pushed him back with the surge of the Force, knocking him off balance.
I chose the path of honor. I chose to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. This is what makes me strong, Megatron. This is what you will never understand. Then you will die with them.
Megatron lunged forward, his fusion cannon charging with dark energy. He fired a massive blast, the kyber-infused shot tearing through the air towards Optimus, but he was ready. With a wave of his hand, he called upon the Force, creating a barrier of energy that deflected the blast.
Who gave you this power, Optimus?
This is the Force, Megatron. It flows through all living things, and even I, a being of metal and circuitry, am connected to it. And through the Force, I see clearly now that your time has come to an end.
Enraged, Megatron charged at Optimus, once more swinging his sword. But Optimus was calm, his movements guided by the Force. He dodged each of Megatron's strikes with ease, and with a swift counterattack, slashed Megatron across the chest, sending sparks flying as the kyber crystal embedded into his armor flickered with instability.
Your reign of terror ends today.
Optimus raised his hand, channeling the Force. The kyber crystal within Megatron's armor begins to glow violently, reacting to the power of the Force flowing through Optimus. Megatron screamed in agony as his body was overwhelmed with surges of energy, his systems failing under the strain.
No! This can't be! I'm Megatron. I cannot be defeated!
But Optimus stood resolute, his optics glowed with the light of the Force as he summoned all his strength for the final blow.
Your thirst for power is all corrupting.
With a powerful motion, Optimus thrust his hand forward, and the crystal in Megatron's armor overloaded with energy, and with a final scream, Megatron's body convulsed and detonated as he disintegrated into a cloud of shattered and metal sparks. Anakin emerged from the temple and made eye contact with Optimus as they both realized the victory the other had gained. They looked across the battlefield as one by one, the enemy began to fall. Starscream shot down by Republic starfighters, Soundwave killed by Bumblebee, Shockwave defeated by Mace Windu, Thundercrack destroyed by Ironhide, and Skywarp brought down by Yoda and the clones. The battlefield grew quiet as the last of the Decepticons fell. The combined forces of the Republic, the Jedi, and Autobots stood victorious. The Senate convened in the Grand Halls of Coruscant, filled with senators, the Jedi Council, and Autobots. The Council stood at the center, the new Chancellor, and thanked Optimus Prime and his Autobots, as well as the Jedi protecting the galaxy against the dangers of the enemy. Bail Organa addressed Optimus directly, saying his Autobots have proved to be more than just warriors, that the Republic owes them its deepest gratitude. Optimus bowed his head in acknowledgement, but even in this moment of victory, Prime's thoughts were heavy with uncertainty. With Megatron and the Decepticons defeated, and the AllSpark destroyed, he wondered what the future held for him and the Autobots. But Organa offered him a solution. He tells Optimus that the place for him and his Autobots is here amongst the stars of his galaxy. He tells Optimus to take over the world Megatron had created, a limb turned into Cybertron reforged through the power of the seed and kyber crystals. It now lies abandoned and could serve a new purpose, as the home of the Autobots, a sanctuary for their people, a place where they could rebuild and thrive. Optimus looks up and over to his fellow Autobots, Bumblebee, Ironhide, Ratchet, and a few others, and could see the satisfaction on their faces.
Chancellor Organa, you honor us with this offer. The Autobots have long searched for a place to call home, and though it is difficult to accept that it was once forged by Megatron's hand, I believe we can rebuild it anew. We accept your offer and pledge to protect this galaxy as we would our own.
The Senate erupted into applause. Optimus felt a sense of calm wash over him, something he had not felt in a long time. He had led the Autobots through countless battles, but they had finally found a place where they could find peace. He stood opposite Bumblebee, the friend he shared for many years, who spoke to him.
Optimus, it feels strange to finally have a place to call home.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to check out Penta Patrol's version of this story. Don't forget to check out our other crossovers as well as Fantasy Sabers, the best NeoPixel sabers on the market. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time.